We can't solve the climate crisis without solving this oppression of people of color. We have no chance at reducing our greenhouse gas emissions if we're not taking into account all of the people that we are harming in the system that has gotten us here. My name is Rita. My pronouns are she, her, and I identify as a gay femme. It's really easy to say, oh, climate change is caused by industry, climate change is caused by fossil fuels, climate change is caused by corporations. It's a lot harder to look at the roots of the system that we live in. It's rooted in oppression. It's rooted in the oppression of people of color. What had to exist in order for the Industrial Revolution to be possible? It happened through colonialism. It happened when, black and brown bodies were seen as something that could be exploited and could be expendable for the sake of generating wealth. And therefore industrialization was made possible, and therefore climate change was made possible. People of color are the foundation of our supply chains, the foundation of how we create everything that we see and we own and we use. And they are the people who have the least rights, the least protections, the lowest incomes and wages, and the least access to the goods that they're producing. So what kind of system is this really? There is a point in time that we refer to as the Green Revolution. And it was a time in the mid-20th century where we had created more food than we'd ever been able to grow before. This industrialization of our food systems meant that we were able to, in quotes, feed the world, but we also did that again through the exploitation of people of color, and we did that again only by decimating traditional food systems of people of color that they were relying on. Now, connecting that to climate change as well, agriculture and land use contributes to about 20% of global emissions. This is due to the industrialization of our food systems. Agriculture wasn't contributing these massive amounts of greenhouse gas emissions until we industrialized it. But what also happened when we industrialized our food systems? We monetized our food systems, we politicized our food systems, and we gave the power and the authority of our food systems to a small handful of companies and corporations. More than half of our global food is owned by less than 5 companies. Who are they holding that power over? But racialized farmers and producers who are in that system. Racialized farmers are no longer allowed or able to farm in ways that were traditional to them or sustainable to them. I think we're fed these myths that our individual actions or that our individual purchasing decisions are somehow going to fix these problems, and the truth is that they're not. We're told, buy local, stop eating meat, buy secondhand, buy these products with an eco-label. The problems are just too intertwined in the system for our individual buying actions to solve all those issues. I think we're in this really special and unique moment in time right now where the Black Lives Matter movement has called people in to sit in the complexity of the system, to not feel paralyzed by the complexity of the system, to stare that complexity in the face and say, no, this can't be solved with these individual actions. This is a lifetime commitment. This is a complete system overhaul. When we're seeing supply chains as systems, we need to recognize that there are people of color working at every level in that system, except in leadership. If you are a corporation that is manufacturing goods, where are the farmers in the boardroom? Where are the hired laborers in this boardroom? Where are the communities that are affected by our operations in this boardroom? Where are communities that are affected by our waste disposal in this boardroom? When those voices aren't in the boardroom, there's no way anything is ever going to be any different. When every single player in a supply chain knows who every single party is, that's when you create empathy, that's when you create connection, and that's when you can solve these problems on a personal and community level, and not just through numbers and not just through profit. The future that I would see would be a future where people of color aren't just surviving, but they're living and thriving, and that exploitation isn't necessary for us all to live together. There was a time when I started this journey in the supply chain space where I really thought some of these solutions could work. Every solution we seem to come up with falls short somehow. every way it falls short is because the system is designed for it to fall short. So I think now I'm just trying to be more open to what a world would look like if it just all came crashing down and just all was built anew. Yeah.